Well, good morning, everyone. It is our pleasure to visit with you this Wednesday morning, November 22nd, 2023. I guess it's Thanksgiving Day Eve, if there is such thing, the day before Thanksgiving. We won't be getting together on Thursday or Friday of this week, of course, because of the holiday. But we're excited to visit with you today. We had some unmet statistics that we had to meet. So we've been out doing a lot of workshops, in-person workshops, Monday and Tuesday of this week, the prior 2 days. And so that's taken us out of the office a fair amount. Sorry if that's affected any of our scheduled appointments with you that we needed to reschedule. Doing in-person workshops is an incredibly important and rewarding process. And I encourage any of you that might consider going out and teaching others to do so. And if you're not set up with us on the chapmanloanprogram.org, the website I'm sharing here, this bottom block of text here to get plugged into the Opportunity Fund to be a distribution partner, or you can call yourself a financial literacy educator. But this block here is how you can do that. We'll provide you the PowerPoint and all the information. We can even set up events for you if you need. But it's incredibly valuable to go out and teach people. There's a lot of individuals that just simply don't know what you and I know. They don't know that there is a formula for funding. And of course, we'll be going through that formula in our discussion today. But you're the exception. You're not the norm. You're frankly more financially literate. You have greater knowledge. You know how any business can become fundable with 100% certainty. But there's a lot of people that are not positioned with that knowledge. And there's many entrepreneurs that are struggling. One of the workshops that we performed yesterday was with a faith-based leader. So this gentleman operates, or I should say leads, a very large African-American church, but more than a church, an institution. And so it was really valuable to get feedback from him. And he really approached us in tears. Now, when this man approaches you, he has an entourage. He doesn't approach you individually. He's got bodyguards walking up with him. But he had tears in his eyes, realizing the power of what you and I do in terms of helping people build their futures. So it's really special what you and I are doing. And if you don't fully understand or appreciate it, you may want to reflect on that. But I'm on chapmanloanprogram.org. There's certain requirements we have to meet because we applied for and received the grant. Going out and doing in-person workshops is part of it. We're active doing that. We've done 6, I think, in the past 2 days. Last evening, we actually did one at a country club. So we've gone out to churches, community centers, and then we wrapped it up last night doing one at a country club. But our 501c3 nonprofit was formed in 2016. We're a member of the Money Smart for Small Business Initiative, which was co-founded by the SBA and FDIC. So we're really all about economic empowerment of small businesses. We work with all different industries, all different types of small businesses. We have a number of grant resources that are here on chapmanloanprogram.org for individuals that are looking to participate, to receive funding to start or grow a business. It's this first link. Those that need immediate financing. The second link. Those that want to register to attend the daily Zoom webinars. This link here is actually to the 10 mistake curriculum that we provide, that we've been out teaching, and we would ask you to maybe consider going out and teaching as well. But the point is, you can preview what it is that you would be teaching, and you can teach it in person or online. This one obviously is on demand online. Normally it's a 60-minute presentation in person, 30 if we're doing it online. And it's just powerful to educate people. What does it take to have a fundable business? I know it's worded the opposite of that. What are the mistakes that keep businesses from being fundable? But we cover both sides. It's not get rich quick. obviously, but if you wanted to go out and teach this, the average size of a workshop is normally 20 people. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. We did one Monday evening and we had close to 70 businesses on it. So it could be a lot larger. You're paid, if you're the educator teaching it, $1,250 for each entrepreneur, each person that attends the workshop and then plugs into the grant, which we'll be talking about here in a moment. So again, it's not get rich quick, but it's a good way to make $10,000-$20,000 for each workshop. You could teach one workshop a month, you could teach one a week, you could teach one a day, or like we've been out on a blitzkrieg of doing multiple per day. The second to the last resource is linking to funding success stories. And then, as we've talked about, the Opportunity Fund. So our primary goal today is to get you familiar with the grant and specifically what the grant's providing out to the marketplace. So you could be wearing one of two hats. Either you're a prospective participant looking for funding to start or grow a business, and so this will be relevant for you. Or maybe you're on the other side of the equation, you're looking to get paid to help people, and that's where the bottom link is here, and we'll talk about what we do. So it's very transparent. It doesn't matter which role you're in or interested in, it's the same program. So let's go through it. So the way that this began, almost always people want to hear the backstory. Well, how did this come about? And I already told you that we're a 501c3 that started in 2016, but the way that it started, some people find it interesting. I do too. So myself and several others, we were teachers at a high school in Aubrey, Texas, Aubrey, Texas, suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth. And my responsibility was managing the business curriculum at this high school. So I taught accounting 1, accounting 2, economics, business information management, and computer programming. I was also the UIL coach, the academic coach for accounting, computer programming, and one other category. We actually won state one of the years I was there. But the point is that as faculty, we're out teaching mainly juniors and seniors in high school about these business principles. And all of a sudden, we started getting calls and emails from the parents of our students saying, "What are you teaching our kids? We never learned this." And so it just started to groundswell where we realized we were teaching financial principles to teenagers that the adults in the community didn't understand, that didn't know. So we started getting these requests to go out and teach outside of the school building to teach the community. So we would be invited to teach at chamber events and apartment complexes and churches. So that's why we formed the 501c3 to take this financial literacy message out into the marketplace. Now, earlier this year in 2023, we applied for the grant, received the grant, and it has a very specific purpose. It is to provide entrepreneurs with a new business positioned for fast funding. So again, when we talk about a formula for funding, that's what this is. And so I will show you the formula for funding. Now, you can take this formula and go do with it as you wish. You can go follow these steps on your own, or you're welcome to participate in the grant and we'll do it for you. That's up to you. But the grant requires us to educate in person and online. If you'd like to help us go educate, that would be great. But I'm going to go through the checklist now. What does it take to have a fundable business? And it's frankly not rocket science. It's really not that complicated. If you want the deeper story, then again, go down here and watch the full 10-mistake version. I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version here, but you can get the full view here. Again, as we go through, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, type it into the Q&A box. It's kind of like a chat box of Zoom. So if our goal is to have a fundable business, what do we need to do? What do we need to have? It's not a mystery. It's crystal clear. There is a formula to follow. Let's go through it. The first thing that we need to have for a fundable business is a unique commercial address. And through the grant, we provide that for free. No, it can't be a home address. No, it can't be a post office box. No, it can't be a shared virtual address, where you have a suite number that other people use. Those are not considered credible. And again, the deeper story is down here. But that's the first thing that's needed for a fundable business, and thus it's the first thing that's included in the grant in the Startup Business Funding Package is a free, unique address. How much is it? It is free. So once we have the address, then we need to file with the Secretary of State. We do that for free. We pay the filing fee. We had a number of clients that enrolled over the weekend, this past weekend. We got all those filed on Monday. All of those have come back already. So it was amazing. And within 2 business days, all those entities were formed. We submitted a bunch more this morning that had came in Monday and Tuesday. So I would suspect by Monday after the holiday weekend, those businesses will be formed. So they're turning them around pretty quick. But we do need to file with the Secretary of State using the right address. So that's why this order is here. This order is relevant. It's not just a random list. Address first, then file with the Secretary of State. Again, that's free. Next, we need to get our EIN and then use that EIN to open a business bank account. How much is that? It's free. Now, once we have these first 3 bullets, we have the foundation of a fundable business. We're not fundable yet. We're not ready to go to funding, but we have the foundation. So then the question becomes, well, what else is needed? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. Next, we need to have a strong business credit profile. So I'll give you details on that. And again, you're welcome to plug in. It's so easy. You can come right down here and click on this and you can plug in and we'll do this for you, or you can go do it yourself. Doesn't matter to us. But how do we get strong business credit for an entity to be fundable? First thing that we need to do is create profiles or make sure that our profiles are optimized with like Dun & Bradstreet and Experian Business, making sure the industry codes, the address, the contact information, everything is accurate. Then we turn around and start adding primary trade lines under the EIN. And so that's what we do to build a credible business. And we do that for free through the grant. Then there's only one more step, and then we'll be ready to go to funding. We need to have a strong balance sheet. A balance sheet, of course, shows the business's assets and liabilities. There's a lot of small businesses that don't know what you and I know. So what I mean by that, a lot of times they don't even know what a balance sheet is or they don't have one for their business. Well, that's not going to make them fundable. We need to have a balance sheet. It needs to be strong. It needs to have collateral. Needs to have collateral for funding. So what do? We help them create the balance sheet, and we literally add collateral. We literally transfer over assets to put on the balance sheet, legally and ethically. So, and then we turn around and help them liquidate those assets because they're accounts receivables to create liquidity. So now we have, once we've completed these bullets, which takes 30 to 60 days, so it's not instant. So it's, it'd be too good to be true to say, oh, yeah, I want to participate in the grant and I want to go to funding tomorrow. Now, that's kind of possible only to the extent that we do have the ability to go to finance, get offers right away. And we may get a good amount of funding from this. But that doesn't mean that this process is done immediately, because it's not. It takes 30 to 60 days to do that. So what's my point more clearly? Could we go get an initial tranche of funding while we're building this out? Absolutely. And how we do that is right here. But this process is not immediate, 30 to 60 days. The longest part of that comes from building out the business credit profile. Once we have a fundable business, we are ready to go. And there's many, many different places we can go for funding: SBA loans, non-SBA loans, so forth. So don't falsely think, oh, after we have a fundable business, there's only one place we can go. There's not. We have a fundable business. We can go just about anywhere to get funding. One funding resource, though, is the Chapman Fund. The Chapman Fund is unique. The Chapman Fund we're able to access without going to a bank, and we don't have to apply or qualify for a bank loan. The Chapman Fund comes from a taxing authority. So it's money that's there intended to help start businesses. So it's great. It's very beneficial. It's very good. However, it's not perfect. And the primary constraint is the Chapman Fund will only provide up to $250,000. So if the business needs more than that, we could use the Chapman Fund for an initial tranche and then go for a second or subsequent tranche through other sources, but it will only fund up to $250,000. So with that being said, our 501c3 nonprofit can help your business get positioned for funding with no risk. To participate, there are 2 steps that must be followed, and those are clearly stated right here. The first step is to learn. The grant requires all participants to understand how this works, which is a good thing, right? So we don't have any missed expectations. The way that we accomplish that is we ask all participants to view the written proposal, which can be downloaded here, and then watch the training video, which is right here. Now, the truth is it's done on an honor system, so you could skip step 1 and we wouldn't know the difference, but the deal is you would promise to do step 1. At that point, then you would be eligible for the grant. You'd click on step 2, click here to enroll. I'll click on it, it'll pop up a new screen. You can do this on your phone, your iPad, your computer. You initial off in a couple places and you're plugged in. So with that being said, let's see what questions, comments, concerns any of you have. Again, you're always welcome to call us or email us. But the bottom line is, if you want to participate, that's accomplished with these 2 steps. If you'd like to participate in the Opportunity Fund, in other words, get paid to help us share the message, it's this link here. But who has questions, comments, concerns on what we've covered? All right, Justin's asking about the timeline, and that's what we've covered, I guess. I thought we covered before. So we're normally looking at 30 to 60 days to go through this process. If we need funding before then, we can certainly go for funding immediately. And I think that's what Justin's point is. We can go for funding immediately. Now, we won't have a fully fundable business yet, but we could go ahead and apply for funding today. So you could sign up right here, and then you could do that this morning, and then this afternoon we could go ahead and qualify or apply for the first round of funding, which, no surprise, that would come from here. And this would probably fund next week. Probably not this week because of the holiday. All right. Jasmine's asking about the amount of funding. Well, really you determine, well, I should say that the participant determines how much funding that they want and they need. So they're going to identify essentially what their uses of funds are. It's like a shopping list. What are the things I want to get? Do I want real estate? Do I want equipment? Do I want company car or cars? Do I want just working capital? Do I want a line of credit? Do I want business credit cards? We have to figure out what the client wants, and we put all that together. So that's what we pursue. So the amount of funding is dependent upon what the client wants and needs. All right, let's see what the next question is. Cornell has a good question. So if you if you are a small business, you probably already have some of these things. And if you're one of our distribution partners, you'll certainly run into some small businesses that already have some of these things. Well, it's not some of these things that makes it fundable. It's having all of these things. So we kind of get to a decision, a decision point, a fork in the road. If you or run into someone that has some of these things, but not all of these things, there's one of two choices. Either go fix what's missing, because this is the formula for funding, these 5 bullets. This is what's needed. Not 4 of the 5, not 3 of the 5, not 2 of the 5, not 1 of the 5, but these 5 items. So if you currently have some of them, you either need to fix what's missing, or you can enroll, participate in the grant. We can just form a brand new entity and use it for the capital raise. Doesn't mean that your other entity can't remain. Lots of people own multiple businesses. But if you already have a business, this is still the checklist, right? The checklist doesn't matter. So rather you have, I'm sorry, that's not the checklist. The top 5 are. So just keep that in mind. This is the formula for a fundable business. So either you have it or you don't. If you have it, then great. Let's go to funding right now. Come right over here on Chapman Loan Program and we'll go to funding. If in fact you don't have it all, then either follow these instructions and fix it yourself, or enroll and we'll form a new entity that is fundable, and that's accomplished right here. So in short, we don't do cleanup. Cleanup is messy. It can be expensive. It can be uncertain. It can be volatile. So we are not cleanup consultants. We received a grant and we provide this package, this scope of services. So if you would like to participate, we'd love you to. Right here is the link to do so. If alternatively, you have some pieces of this and you don't want a new entity that's fundable, then you can take this knowledge and go apply it on your own. But we don't piecemeal it in. All right, any other questions, comments, concerns? Again, we won't have our daily Zoom on Thursday, tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving, or Friday, Good Friday. We'll be back on Monday. If you'd like to participate, it's super simple to do it. There's a 2-step process. If you'd like to get paid to help us teach and help others, you can do that right here. And if you just need financing offers, you can do it here. So again, chapmanloanprogram.org is the one-stop shop for all of these resources, as well as with our information. All right, well, thank you for your time. We certainly hope to have the opportunity to work with you in one capacity or another. Enjoy your day, enjoy your holiday weekend, and feel free to come back and join us on Monday morning. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.